4 years ago, I started wearing these barefoot shoes, and 3 years ago, they'd become the only thing that I would ever wear, and my feet will never be the same ever again. Because the shoes that we wear every single day are actually messing up our feet. The cushion, the heels, the narrow toe boxes, they stop our feet from moving the way that they've evolved to over thousands of years. It's a little bit like walking around with your foot jammed into a cast. It's really good at fixing a very specific problem, but it is terrible long term. Luckily though, we can fix it and make you the strongest that you've ever been, no matter what your age is. But first, we have to take it right back to the very beginning. Before we had any cars, phones, concrete, back to when your ancestors lived completely barefoot, the byproduct of millions of years of bioengineering that gave us a spring-like arch, muscles under our feet for stability, strength and protection, even fat pads and calluses to protect us from the very sharpest Lego and upturned plug that we could ever find. All so that we could completely dominate our landscape and become what we are today. Part of that domination actually came from outrunning our prey using something called persistence hunting. Unlike lions and tigers, and without fangs, claws, teeth, or speed on our side, we'd use endurance and outrun our prey over time, cooling ourselves down with sweat. And this is something that you could still be doing today if you were training for it. It's part of your genetic makeup. Eventually though, we moved away from the plains into harsher and harsher environments, strapping protective leather pads onto the soles of our feet, the very first shoes. Over time, that very early fashion became synonymous with beauty. Different cultures started adding heels and platforms. They bound them up to make their feet look smaller. And in the 1970s, we took form and function to a whole new level as the jogging craze exploded onto the scene in the United States. Anybody that's read or listened to Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, who's the founder of Nike, knows that this is where things get really out of hand. Jogging in the 70s effectively becomes an arms race between the big and the emerging shoe brands. All of them are vying for athlete sponsorship and market dominance. So what does Phil do? He finds his old track coach, a guy called Bill Bowerman from the University of Oregon, recruits him into Nike, and they start shaping an industry. This is what pretty much every other video forgets to mention. Nike isn't shaping feet as part of some malicious conspiracy theory to cripple the United States with bunions and plantar fasciitis. They're quite simply becoming a titan of commerce, which means creating a product that's different from other things on the market and is accessible. Phil understood that, and that's what Nike's very first track shoe, the Cortez, was all about. It was the most comfortable and the most durable shoe that they could possibly come up with for distance and road running, and with it, their sales exploded immediately after the public noticed that the Nike Cortez was being used by the Olympic athletes in the 1972 Olympics. No more spiked plim soles for pounding around the local racetrack. Now you, the everyday American, could do it too. Your track was the road right outside your house on your feet with the exact same shoes that the pros were wearing with really nice soft cushioning. And with that high drop, you could run further than you ever had before. You felt incredible. Easy performance, all packaged up with their trademark swoosh and orange box. It was truly a marketing masterclass from Nike. But the innovation didn't stop there. And what we see is the repercussion of that arms race. We have got a narrow toe box, we've got bigger heels, we've even got carbon fiber inserts in the base of some soles now. Form, function, and fashion have very much just become the same thing. We see people walking down to the shops in the latest and greatest ultra shoes and going down to the gym in marathon trainers, wearing memory foam cushion inserts and pixie-toed office shoes. This is why right now we've got shoe-shaped feet, not feet-shaped shoes, and all of the problems that come with it. Plantar fasciitis, ankle sprains, bunions, hammer toes, knee pain, back pain, all of that is avoidable. So now comes the big question. Is there any advantage to cushioned, high-drop shoes? But first, before I answer that question, if you subscribe to the channel today by clicking that link just down below, you're going to be automatically entered into the chance to win a brand new pair of VivoBarefoot shoes. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, from Kuala Lumpur to Boston, USA, you can be in with a chance of winning. And the giveaway is going to be happening when I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is getting closer by the day. But for now, back on with the video. So the answer to that question lies in the most unlikely place. In 2016, a study was put out where 200 frequent runners, half with shoes, half without, were compared over a year for injury rates while they were running. The results actually really surprised me at first because there were significantly lower rates of injury in the barefoot group overall. But, and it's important not to miss this section, there was no difference in injury rates per 1,000 miles, just different types. But they were not statistically different between groups due to significantly less mileage run in the barefoot groups. Barefoot running actually reduces your chance of injury because it prevents you from running as far as you could in cushion shoes. We know for a fact that barefoot shoes make the muscles in your feet, your ankles, your legs, and your knees a lot stronger. That strength also then carries over into total body stability, which is why all of my lifts, hiking, my running, my Olympic training, all of that across the board has improved. But we also know that if you're trying to run a marathon, or if you're trying to run an ultra marathon even, miles matter, and cushion shoes enable you to crunch more of them. They are performance enhancers. They allow us to exceed our natural limitations in the same way that my very tight, very small rock climbing shoes allow me to cling onto a wall when otherwise I should be falling off. And it's for that reason that the Nike Vaporflies, worn by Eliud Kipchoge for his sub 2-hour marathon, ended up getting banned from competition. Cushion shoes definitely have their place, but they should be worn for a purpose if they line up with your goal. Something like a long distance running race. But the rest of the time, barefoot shoes we know are going to make you stronger. Fortunately, I'm not the first person to reach that conclusion, and in 1999, a new power geek couple of the shoe world, designer Robert Firry and Vibram CEO Tony Post, realized that as well, and they started developing the very first barefoot shoe as a solution to the knee pain and soreness that they were getting while they were running. Initially, they were spurred on by some time spent with a tribe called the Temura, who crush marathons on the daily in nothing but sandals and have none of the issues that we have from just generally existing. They were then G'd on by a 2004 paper that injected a massive dose of scientific credibility into the new natural running phenomena, and they released their now famous 5-finger shoes off the back of that, and the barefoot movement really snowballed from there to what we've got now as the blueprint for barefoot minimalist shoes. 1, they need to be super flexible. 2, they shouldn't intrude on your feet in any way, so they have this really nice characteristic wide toe box to encourage your toes to splay out into a more natural position. And then 3, there's zero drop, there's no cushioning at all. They are just completely flat. Some of them may have a little bit of a tread for trail running, but for the most part, nada. And in my opinion, the reason that the industry has exploded is because it just feels so good, and they're getting better and better over time. Going from those weird looking 5-finger Vibrams to the sort of thing that you can and will wear every single day, reaping the benefits with each and every stride that you take. There are, of course, some drawbacks. The first is that barefoot shoes are still quite expensive. It is a new industry. There isn't the historical research and development that companies like Nike and Adidas have got, so hopefully you can understand why. With a bunch of different companies like VivoBarefoot, Free and Zero, you're almost guaranteed to find something that works for you and your budget. But make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and you could win a brand new pair of VivoBarefoot shoes of your own choosing when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm also going to be releasing a video on how you can make your own barefoot shoes at home using shoes that you already have. Let me know in the comment section down below if that's something that you want to see. So, big question, has it all been plain sailing for me? No, definitely not. There's some things that I wish I'd done better when I got my first pair of these all those years ago. 1, I wish that I'd taken it easier at the start. There is no rush at all in the transition. If you're used to cushioning and then all of a sudden you take it away, your body is going to wonder what the hit it. So definitely don't do what I did. Don't go crazy. Start off just by wearing them for a walk in the morning. When you go barefoot, your feet actually grow as all that tension on the underside of the foot is released. So if you do go out too hot and you buy a whole new wardrobe of shoes, you're probably just going to have to replace them again in a few months' time. 2, you can absolutely accelerate your progress from normal to natural feet with something like a toe spacer, just like these, or just straightforward toe socks. Normal socks have got elastic around the toes, which actually pulls your toes in together. Embracing something simple like this now will definitely speed up that transition window. Number 3 is, I can guarantee, even with numbers 1 and 2, your Achilles and your calf muscles are going to get tight. Take the time to stretch them out. Get a ball into them. If you've got a massage gun, definitely get that in there as well. even 5 minutes every day will make a world of difference, and I promise you're not going to regret doing it. Hands down though, this is one of the best things that I've ever done, and I can't see myself ever going back to wearing normal shoes. Not only have my feet changed, but my stride is also completely different, and all of the knee and plantar fasciitis issues I had from years and years of competitive rugby are now completely gone. Not only that, but my calves are bigger, which for anyone that's into bodybuilding will know is a massive, massive plus. And I'm also the strongest and most pain-free that I've ever been in my life. Sometimes the most powerful thing that we can do is actually strip back the complexity and focus on simplicity. Be sure to subscribe to the channel with post notifications on, and also check out this video here on the Primus Lite 3. It's the very first barefoot shoe that I ever owned, and I'm sure that you're going to love that video as well. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you again soon. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.